There's a secret most men never hear, but once you do, it changes everything. An experienced lady is about to reveal what women truly want, something far deeper than looks or money. Before we dive in, be sure to subscribe, like this video, leave a comment with your thoughts, and share this with a friend. What you'll hear next might surprise you, and it's something every man deserves to know. Secret 1. Emotional safety is her real turn-on. Let's start with a secret that may surprise you, not because it's complicated, but because it's almost never talked about among men. Most men are taught that women want to be impressed. Fancy dinners, clever compliments, a confident walk, a good paycheck, these are the tools many believe are required to win a woman's heart. But here's the truth, straight from the lips of an experienced lady, emotional safety is the real turn-on. Not flashy charm, not polished muscles, not perfect plans, emotional safety. And what does that mean? It means she wants to feel emotionally secure around you, safe to be herself, free to feel what she feels, without being judged, interrupted, corrected, or dismissed. It's not about walking on eggshells or trying to please her constantly. It's about being the kind of man who can stand strong when she feels vulnerable. The man who doesn't flinch when she cries. The one who listens without offering a quick fix. The man who doesn't disappear the moment things get a little messy. One experienced woman put it like this: I've had men who looked amazing, made money, and knew how to talk. But the one I'll never forget, he was the one I could fall apart around, and he stayed. That's emotional safety. So many men miss this because they think being manly means being distant or always in control. But in reality, being manly, truly strong, means having the courage to be present in uncomfortable moments. When a woman feels safe with you, she opens up like a flower in the sun. Her trust deepens, her affection grows naturally, and yes, her physical desire awakens, because she no longer feels like she has to protect herself. Here's a real-life example. There was a man named Joe, in his 60s, who had been married twice and was ready to give up on relationships. He told himself women were too emotional, too complicated. But during a friendship with a woman named Carla, he did something different. Instead of trying to fix her problems, he just listened. When she shared stories from her past, he didn't jump in with advice. He simply said, "I understand why that hurt." Over time, Carla began to trust Joe in ways she never trusted anyone else. Not because he had all the answers, but because he gave her the space to be herself. And that trust, it turned into connection, intimacy, and eventually love. This isn't magic, it's human, it's deeply attractive. So how do you offer emotional safety? It starts with presence. When she talks, stop scrolling. Look her in the eyes. Listen without waiting to talk. Validate her feelings, even if they don't make perfect sense to you. Say things like, "That sounds really painful," or "I hear you. I'm here." These are simple words, but to her, they're solid gold. Don't be afraid of her feelings. They're not hurricanes to avoid, they're weather patterns she just wants to be seen in. If she trusts you enough to show you her storms, be the calm in the middle of them. Remember, most men try to impress a woman into bed, but the wise man makes her feel safe enough to invite him in, not just to her bed, but into her life. That's the secret, and once you understand it, everything else, attraction, connection, passion, becomes easier. Because when a woman feels safe, she lets go of her defenses. And when she lets go of her defenses, she gives you her heart. Secret 2. She remembers how you make her feel. If there's one thing that trips up a lot of men, it's this: they focus too much on what to say, rather than how they make a woman feel. They rehearse lines. They memorize compliments. They try to sound clever, wise, charming, even romantic. But ask any woman what truly stuck with her after a conversation, and she'll tell you, it wasn't the exact words. It was how those words made her feel. This is a secret shared by a woman in her 70s who had lived through marriages, heartbreak, and years of dating. She said, "I've forgotten most of what men have said to me over the years. But I'll never forget the ones who made me feel cherished, respected, and safe." That's powerful, and it speaks to a truth many men overlook: your emotional impact lasts far longer than your verbal skills. Think about it. Have you ever heard someone say all the right things, but something just felt off? Maybe they were polite, but you didn't trust them. Maybe they complimented you, but it felt forced. That's because humans, especially women, pick up on emotional energy more than literal speech. A woman's emotional intelligence is often more finely tuned than a man's. She's not just listening to your words, she's feeling your tone, your presence, your energy. She's noticing whether you're present or distracted, whether you're speaking from the heart or just performing. And that's where most men lose connection. They're trying too hard to say the right thing, instead of just being real. Let's take a real example. Imagine two men. The first is smooth. He tells a woman, "You're the most beautiful woman I've ever seen." But he's saying it like he's said it 100 times before. His eyes are scanning the room. He's thinking about what to say next. The second man looks her in the eyes and says, "I really enjoy being around you. You make this evening feel special." His tone is soft. He's present. He means it. Which one will she remember? Always the second one. Why? Because it felt authentic. She felt seen. And most of all, she felt something real. So here's how to put this into action. Stop focusing on the perfect line. Don't chase impressive words. Focus instead on the emotional space you're creating. Are you making her feel accepted? Appreciated? Safe? Are you making her feel like the only person in the room? Ask yourself, how does she feel when I'm around? Not, how do I sound? When you slow down and connect with her experience, when you stop trying to be impressive and start being sincere, you become unforgettable. You move from being just another guy to being the man who made her feel valued. Women remember feelings. They remember warmth. They remember the man who didn't rush them. The man who listened without trying to fix. The man who cared enough to be fully present. Even in moments of disagreement, how you handle her feelings will shape what she remembers about you. If you're calm, respectful, and steady, she'll feel safe, even if you're not saying what she wants to hear. In the end, she may not recall the clever line you used over dinner. But she will remember if you made her feel respected. She may forget the compliment you gave her last week, but she'll remember how you smiled when she walked into the room. So, forget perfection. Be sincere. Be present. Focus on how you make her feel. Because a woman forgets words, but she never forgets emotions. Secret 3, vulnerability is power, not weakness. Let's talk about something that makes many men uncomfortable, vulnerability. Somewhere along the way, a lot of men were taught that showing emotions, expressing fears, or admitting they're hurting is a sign of weakness. Real men don't cry. Toughen up. Never let them see you sweat. But here's what an experienced woman knows, and what most men don't: vulnerability is not weakness. It's power. An older, wiser woman sees beyond surface strength. She's not impressed by a man who hides behind silence or wears emotional armor all day. She's drawn to the man who has the courage to be real. The man who doesn't just show the good parts, but also shares his struggles with quiet confidence. That kind of man, he's rare, and unforgettable. Why does this matter so much to women? Because vulnerability signals trust. When a man is vulnerable, it tells her, "I trust you with the parts of me I usually hide from the world." That kind of emotional openness builds deep connection. And for women, especially mature women who've had their share of shallow relationships, connection matters more than anything. Here's an example. There was a man named Frank, in his 60s. He'd always been the strong, silent type. He worked hard, provided for his family, and kept his emotions tucked away like tools in a box. But after 2 divorces, he was alone and wondering what went wrong. Then, in a conversation with a close female friend, something changed. He admitted, "I'm tired of pretending I've got it all together." He didn't say it with drama or tears, just quiet honesty. Her response? She didn't walk away. She leaned in. She said, "That's the most attractive thing you've ever said to me." Frank was stunned. But that's the power of vulnerability. It breaks down walls and invites closeness. Here's the truth. Strong men get tired too. They carry invisible burdens. They battle regret, fear, loneliness. And when a man can share those truths, not to be pitied, but to be understood, it's not weakness. It's strength that no one can fake. Women aren't looking for men to fall apart. They're looking for men who can be honest about their humanity. It's okay to say, "I've made mistakes. I sometimes feel insecure. I've been hurt. I'm working through things." These statements don't diminish you. They elevate you in her eyes. Because now, you're not a performer. You're a real man, and real men don't need to pretend. Here's the key difference. Being vulnerable is not dumping your emotions carelessly. It's not crying uncontrollably in her lap on the first date. It's about being open in a grounded way, expressing real emotion with steadiness, not chaos. It's saying, "This is who I am, and I'm not afraid to show it." Most women, especially those with experience, are starving for that kind of authenticity. They've met the charmers, the smooth talkers, the emotionally unavailable men. What touches them deeply is someone who shows heart, not just hustle. So if you've been holding everything in, let yourself open up a little. Not for sympathy, but for connection. The next time you're with a woman you trust, share something real. A fear, a regret, a dream you haven't said out loud. See how she responds. Chances are, she'll admire you more, not less. Because when a man drops the act and shows who he really is, he becomes magnetic. Vulnerability is not weakness, It's the most powerful kind of strength. It says, I know who I am. I'm not perfect, but I'm real. And to a woman who's been through life's ups and downs, that kind of man is the one worth keeping. Secret 4, she wants to be wanted, not used. Here's a truth very few men talk about, and even fewer truly understand. A woman wants to feel wanted, not used. There's a big difference, and once you see it, you'll realize how many relationships fall apart not because of lack of attraction, but because of a lack of emotional respect. An experienced lady once said it clearly. I don't mind being desired. I like it, but I can always tell when a man sees me as a person, or just a fix for his needs. Let's break that down. Most women, especially older, wiser women, have no problem with intimacy. They enjoy it, they want it, but what they won't tolerate is being treated like a transaction. When a man only shows up when he's in the mood, when he checks out after getting what he wants, when he touches her body but ignores her feelings, that's when a woman feels used. And once she feels used, trust is broken. Even if she doesn't say it out loud, she starts pulling away. Emotionally, mentally, and yes, physically. This secret is important for men of all ages, but especially for older men dating mature women. These women have been through enough to recognize the difference between being genuinely wanted and being convenient. So, how do you show a woman that she's truly wanted? Start by showing interest beyond the physical. Compliment her mind, her presence, her personality, not just her body. Ask her how her day was, and listen with real attention. Notice the little things she does. The way she fixes her hair. The way she laughs when she's relaxed. The wisdom in her words. Appreciate her as a whole woman. Next, build emotional connection outside of intimacy. Send her a message in the morning, not just a "what are you wearing?" text, but something that shows thought. I saw something that reminded me of you today. I've been thinking about what you said the other night, it stayed with me. These words tell her, I see you. I value you. I'm not just here for my needs, I'm here for you. One woman in her 60s shared this. I once dated a man who was kind and affectionate in bed, but cold the next morning. He'd roll over, check his phone, and barely say goodbye. It made me feel like a thing. I ended it. Then I met someone else. He didn't just want my body, he wanted my company, my stories, my soul. That's the man I fell for. That's what being wanted feels like. Now, here's something most men miss. Wanting a woman doesn't mean worshiping her. You don't have to shower her with gifts or fake feelings. What she wants is simple presence, honesty, and consistency. Show up when you say you will. Speak from your heart, not just your hormones. And don't disappear after you get what you came for. Stay connected, stay engaged, because here's the secret, when a woman feels truly wanted, her affection multiplies. She becomes more open, more warm, more giving. Not out of obligation, but out of joy, out of trust, because she feels safe in your attention. So remember, being physically attracted to a woman is natural, but being emotionally invested in who she is as a person. That's what separates the boys from the men. Don't just reach for her body. Reach for her spirit, her story, her presence. Because when a woman feels wanted, she blossoms. When she feels used, she withers. And the man who knows the difference? He becomes unforgettable. Secret 5, appreciation is the new seduction. Many men believe that attraction fades with time, that the spark eventually disappears, and that women just lose interest. But ask an experienced woman, one who has lived, loved, and learned, and she'll tell you something different. The man who knows how to appreciate a woman never runs out of magic. Appreciation, not seduction, is the true long game. Because while seduction might open the door, appreciation is what keeps her walking back in. Again and again. So what does it mean to truly appreciate a woman? It's more than saying thank you. It's deeper than flattery. True appreciation is a mix of attention, respect, and emotional presence. It's the small, intentional ways you show her that you don't just see her, you value her. Here's something most men overlook. Women don't crave grand gestures nearly as much as they crave consistent kindness. Compliments are nice, flowers are sweet, but what melts a woman's heart is when a man truly notices her. A woman in her 60s said it best. I've had diamonds in vacations. But the most romantic moment of my life was when a man looked me in the eyes, held my hand, and said, I love who you are, not just what you do for me. I felt seen, cherished. That moment stayed with me longer than any gift. That's the power of appreciation. It's intimate, it's rare, and it's magnetic. So how can you show more of it? Start by noticing the little things. Did she take time to dress up for your dinner date? Tell her she looks radiant, not just beautiful, but seen. Did she listen patiently while you shared your worries? Thank her sincerely. Let her know her presence matters. It's not about being overly emotional or dramatic. It's about being intentional. The man who says, "You always bring calm to my chaos," or "I feel more like myself when I'm around you," is speaking appreciation fluently. And here's the beauty of it: when a woman feels appreciated, her heart opens. She becomes softer, more affectionate, more trusting. Not because she's trying to earn your love, but because she feels safe in it. Here's another truth that experienced women know: neglect is the beginning of distance. When a woman feels taken for granted, she slowly shuts down. Not out of anger, but out of emotional exhaustion. She starts to give less, feel less, respond less. Appreciation is what keeps that from happening. It's the invisible thread that keeps two people emotionally close, even after years, even after life gets busy. Now, let's be clear: appreciation is not weakness. It doesn't mean putting her on a pedestal or losing your identity. It means recognizing her value, and telling her, often. Men who master this never run out of connection. Why? Because appreciation is nourishment. Just like a plant needs sunlight, a woman thrives when she's valued, not just for what she does, but for who she is. So here's a challenge for you: the next time you're with a woman you care about, pause and ask yourself, what do I truly admire about her? Then tell her, not just once, not just on special occasions, but regularly. Make appreciation a habit, because in the end, women may forget the fancy dinners, the expensive gifts, even the passionate nights. But they never forget how a man made them feel, especially when he made her feel seen, loved, and appreciated. Appreciation isn't just the new seduction. It's the kind of love that lasts. Finally, thank you for watching and discovering these powerful secrets from an experienced lady that most men don't know. Remember, real connection comes from being present, vulnerable, and truly appreciating the woman in your life. If you found these secrets valuable, don't just keep them to yourself. Hit that like button, subscribe for more life-changing advice, and share this video with a friend who could benefit. Drop a comment below telling us which secret resonated most with you or any questions you have. Your journey to becoming the man she truly wants starts right here. Let's grow together.